building a business that can bend without breaking. In uncertain times, resilience in business isn't negotiable, it's not optional. We need to talk about how you learn to make sure that your business is flexible no matter what is going on in the marketplace. This is essential. And by the way, even if your business is growing, you're going to want to listen to this. Resilience in business is critical for you. Welcome to season 7 of Referral Roadmap, business growth in an age of AI and uncertainty. This season, we're cutting through the noise and getting real about what actually moves the needle for small businesses in 2026. From AI tools that save you time, to winning in the zero-click search era, to building teams and systems, resilience, and a referral engine that still wins even in a digital age. We're giving you strategies you'll need to grow with confidence no matter what the economy throws your way. Let's dive in. You're not going to want to miss this one. So that's what we're going to dig into. But before we do, I just have to say thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. We thank you for your comments, your downloads, and your shares. Our heart is that you use this to help your business. And we hope that you share this with somebody so it can help their business as well. But Jada, without all the niceties as everybody, because we do love all of our people, let's talk a little bit. What's the definition and so people really understand, what are we going to unpack today?
Yeah, so today we're going to unpack how business resilience is the ability to withstand challenges and come out stronger on the other side. Flexibility is the capacity to adapt quickly when circumstances change, whether that's a market shift, economic downturns, new technology, or unexpected disruptions. Together, resilience and flexibility are what's going to keep a business from breaking under the pressure of it all. So, in today's economy, volatility is the norm, not the exception. Supply chains shift, customer expectations evolve, and competition can change overnight. Businesses that survive and thrive are not the ones with the most resources, but are the ones that can bend without breaking, as you said, Athena. So that really means building an adaptable business model that doesn't rely on a single product, client, or channel for survival. Creating contingency plans so when setbacks do come, because they will, you're ready with options instead of scrambling. Embedding flexibility into systems and cultures so that your team can pivot quickly and confidently. And lastly, developing financial resilience through the healthy cash flow reserves and smart budgeting. So, in short, resilience is your safety net and flexibility is your competitive edge. Businesses that embrace both of these just don't just endure the volatility, they use it as a chance to grow. So, that is what we'll be talking about today, Athena.
Woo! That was a lot.
I know.
No, this is so important. And I'm going to tell you right now, Jada, you and I have the privilege of being in 2 different businesses, and we
Mhm.
also have the privilege of helping other businesses.
Yep.
And I was really excited to talk to you guys about this today because we really need to talk about this as business owners. And even if you are a sales leader or you're a sole entrepreneurial person, you guys, or a 100% commission person, we need to talk about this because the market is changing quickly. We have said that over and over again, Jada, but the market is changing. And Jada and I are seeing this with our businesses. They're keeping us on our toes. Before we even started today's podcast, we had to have this huge conversation because we have to change all of our marketing for one of our businesses because the buying cycle, how people think, we need to engage them differently at different times with different options. You have to stay agile. And staying agile, staying alert, and also staying in the know is not easy. Huh, Jada, we don't love it.
It's not always easy. I was telling Athena right before this, sometimes marketing can feel like, you do something and then you wait typically about 90 days to see if it actually makes a difference. But in those 90 days, you're not going to sit back on your hands and twiddle your thumbs and just pray that what you did worked. You're going to work on new projects. So that way, if what you thought was going to work doesn't, you have something else already in the works. And so, I was just telling Athena, it feels like sometimes you're just, you have your tires in the mud and you're just figuring out what's going to help you get the traction.
And it's so interesting because um, you and I are not, ostriches with our heads in the sand. We are looking at the analytics consistently. We are
Yeah,
looking at our
weekly.
numbers.
Yeah.
We are moving the needles. I mean,
Mhm.
your marketing efforts that we looked at just the other day, year over year, we are producing more.
Mhm.
However, it's not getting us the goals that we want. And
Yep.
so we have to push ourselves. Now, here's the thing, you guys, that you're listening to this. Of course, we're going to give some rubber meets the road, but I think what's really important is if you are feeling this right now, Jada and I want you to know you're not alone. And
No.
yeah, we may have a track record of success and we are very resilient and we want to share that with you. We want you to know that we get tired too. We get frustrated too. We wish things were easier. I wish we had an easy button. I promise you, Jada would love an easy button,
I'd be slamming it right now.
right? We do. I mean, we have a project that we're hiring a person to do for us, and Jada has to rearrange her schedule to do something else in order for that to happen because we have to stay that agile, because we
Mhm.
have to implement and look at new ideas because the market is so changing. And this is what I want you to think about as I mean, obviously, I want to tell you a story also about one of my clients, but gosh, this is so near and dear to my heart right now. I wish things could be more on autopilot. We do have systems in place. We do have other things in place. But right now, because of what is changing, because of all the social media platforms, how now they're more pay to play. And so organic green is not really working any longer. Google is becoming pay to play, right? And you have to be very cautious. I know we've already talked about the zero click nation thing going on with our expert Griffin on our podcast this season. So we have these things that are coming against us. So we have to stay vigilant, which makes you tired, which is why you need resilience. And so I want to dig a little bit. I want to tell you a story that I'd like to unpack a little bit of what Jada and I are doing and our companies are doing to stay resilient in this market. Just heart to heart here. I think that's really what we're about. I hope you guys realize we're not just two women who read a book and are regurgitating. We're two women running two businesses with a lot of pressure and making a lot of mistakes, making a lot of wins. And so we're in the trenches with you. So what we're
Mhm.
talking about is not just, oh, we read that or we heard that from somebody. No, we have not beautiful Jada, but I have the gray hair if I didn't get it dyed to
No,
prove it.
my, hairstylist so, kindly humbled me. I do have
Oh,
gray hairs.
I'm so sad for you. See, Jada working for me is giving her gray hair in her 20s.
That or becoming a mom, who knows?
I think it's both. It's both. But here's I wanna before I really kinda tell you what we're doing in our business to counterbalance this, which I'm really proud of us, which but also is causing more work. Um, I wanna talk about one of my clients because this really hit me and I thought, gosh, I need to talk about this with our listeners. So I have a client and they work in the professional service industry and they built their entire business, you guys, on just in-person networking events for years. That's what they did. And they didn't really, unfortunately, they didn't use their CRM like they should. They didn't have great systems. They just went to these networking events and it drummed up enough business for them to be comfortable. Well, what happened is some of the networking events post COVID that they used to get their referrals from, their business from, became obsolete and less productive. And because they hadn't diversified and looked at other ways to attract leads, and they didn't build the database like they wanted to, and because they frankly weren't treating their business like a business, they started to struggle. And which is how we started having a conversation. And when we started having conversation, the first thing we had to do is figure out, okay, what can you be doing that would give you the same revenue, same leads, attract leads that your old activity was doing? And so then we had to look at other options, right? So we had to look at, they did webinars, they started doing email campaigns, they got a CRM. You guys know I'm all about that. They got a CRM and we started building some systems. Well, because they didn't have a lot of that in place, and we built it It took them a minute, but it started producing results. So if you're listening to this right now, I want you to know if you're sitting here and you're like, Athena, I don't have anything. Great. Because that means as soon as you implement it, you have really fast impact. Now, if you're listening, you're like, Athena, I already do all of that. Hey, welcome to Jada and I's world. We do too. Um,
Join the party.
yeah. Guess what though? Here's what we're learning going back to Jada and I's kind of weaving these stories together because they are the same thing. One is I didn't diversify, I didn't have systems in place, and I had to build it very quickly to save my business. This is where Jada and I have all of that. Everything we teach you, we actually do. Where Jada will call you out, or call me out and say, no, we don't really do that. So just so you know, she's the honest police. Um, but I will say this: here's the thing, though. You can't get complacent in markets that are changing, and right now, there's no complacency. So you have to make sure that you continue to do the fundamentals. You guys know what they are. I have 10 of them. Jada, you guys can make sure we have courses on them. You've got to do the fundamentals. Those never change. But you do have to look at other new ways to attract your business and nurture your business. And so you also have to start looking at new ways to generate more revenue. So this is where I come back to what are we doing? What we are doing is actually creating new products. So our home building business, we realize that there's so much we can control in as far as attracting the homeowner to build the home. But our very wise mentor told us one of our knobs that we needed is how do you make more per client, right? And in anyone listening, this is how you stay resilient. So we decided, hey, what products can we be selling that make sense that we're not? And for us, because of our what we do, now we're starting to offer um doing barns, pole barns, shops, ponds, and we are also doing pools. We are also doing land evaluations. For years, people have asked us, "What about? Do you guys have a land expert?" Well, I have one, but you don't get to use him unless you build with me. Well, that's a product line. So we have just in what 3 months
Mhm.
decided and figured out how we can offer all of these additional products. So you can imagine the amount of work that takes for Jada since she is the VP of sales and marketing, because she has to then take all of that new product, change our messaging, let people know we are white glove, we do it all. She's got to rework all the marketing campaigns in order to make sure that information is in there, explaining what we're doing. So, this innovation to help us stay resilient also is requiring her resiliency because it's pushing her, because she's got to do all of these things. So, here's what I want to tell you. I'm not going to say it's easy. We're not going to tell you it's easy, but we're going to tell you it's essential
Mhm.
because I know I look at the numbers. Yes, right now it's a little bit of a pain, but our ability to sell these other products are going to help sustain us and allow us to have flexibility and resilience no matter what else is happening in the market. And I want you to think about that too. So even if you're like Athena, I don't have any systems. Well, now's the time. That's how you build resiliency. Start building your systems, diversify how you attract leads, how you nurture leads. And then if you already have those things in place, what are you doing? Where are you leaving money on the table? Where are you wasting money? We first did that as a company and went through all of that. And by the way, just as a side note, you're never wasting money on your team. We increased salaries this time last year, and we are not reducing salaries. We're not reducing staff. That's not where we're saving our money. We're saving our money in the mindless redundancies of things that cost us money that we can fix. So you go in and you shore up your money, and then you go in and you build additional revenues. And then you have to create systems around that. We were joking that Jada's got to do all of this email cray cray work, and Athena's got to figure out one of these new products, how it works. All right. So it's work for both of us. Hey, welcome to business, right? But this is what I want you guys to think about. So this is how we stay resilient. We look at ways to look at our business and come up with how do we earn more, how do we sustain, and how do we stay resilient, both practically and mentally. Jada and I have been pushed. That's why we laugh about the gray hair. With all the changes in the market, we have been pushed way beyond our comfort zone in the last 18 months. And we are
Which is
still getting
ironic because I also have an 18-month-old now. Like, what?
You know what? You know what? How crazy is that? Because it had nothing to do with. I mean, you know what? They
I
happened
know.
both at the same time.
I know. I was laughing about that the other day with myself. I was like,
You're like,
"Good
"Okay, I
timing,
should've
Jada."
just been a stay-at-home mom."
It's like, "Good timing."
Yeah, you're right. Oh my gosh. Well, just think how I mean, when baby 2 comes around and the business is more stable, then you can be like, "Okay, I got this," because the first time the business was so crazy.
No
Because we
kidding.
will settle it down. But anyways, so that's our story. I just want if you guys resonate with this, I'm gonna give you some rubber meets the road. But what's really important is you guys know, I know you're feeling it. If you're out there, you're feeling it. Even my big corporations I work with, they're feeling it. That's why people are paying me to come in and help with their sales process because they're feeling it too. So, um, anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Jada, tell us some science, and then obviously I'll get into some rubber meets the road.
Yeah, definitely. So a study from Accenture found that companies categorized as quote unquote highly resilient grow their revenue about 6% points faster and have profit margins of about 8 percentage points higher than their peers. So, in
Wow.
other words, resilience isn't just defensive, it really is that competitive advantage that you need in the marketplace right now.
I
Um,
I'm counting on that.
Oh, yeah, me too. And then the second set of research is by BCG, and their research shows that companies which transformed during downturns improved their performance by approximately 45% over companies that didn't. So that tells us that crises are opportunities for those that are willing to adapt and not just survive the market.
See? There's hope, Jada, there's hope.
There is hope. We're adapting, so I'm holding on to that hope. And then the last one is it's a systematic review of small businesses, and the researchers found that those that combine digital transformation, marketing adaptability, and organizational agility are better able to recover from disruptions and sustain
Mm,
long term viability.
wow. We're living that.
Truly.
We're living that. That is a true statement. Those were great stats. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to watch this episode back in a year.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be really we need to put it on our calendar so we do. And you guys, we chuckle, but I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
again, we understand. Our hearts are out there for you. We really hope what we're sharing with you will give you some ideas.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna tell you, I do consult people. So if you're listening to this, please reach out to us. I know, Jada, we have opened up a number of new slots for
Mhm.
coaching opportunities for me in 2026,
Yep.
um, and team training, CEO trainings. You guys don't do this alone. You can't do this alone. Don't stand on your own 2 feet. Get some help. Okay.
Yep.
Jada and I have help. We have EOS coaches. We have Darren Hardy. We other people in our team are doing other trainings depending on what they need. I'm telling you, it's not just I'm trying to sell myself. We don't do it alone. You guys don't need to do it alone either.
Mm-mm.
So what are some rubber meets the road? First of all, you need to ask yourself, um, just some failure points. And I kind of talked about that with us. We went through and looked at our business and asked ourselves, um, where what's not working. Okay. I think when you are in a time where you need to be resilient, you need to get honest with yourself and say what is not working. So if I lost this one client or I lost this product or lead source tomorrow, what would happen? So if I lost all my referrals tomorrow, what would happen? Okay. If I, what would happen? And you need to make sure that you have a backup plan or a contingency for any of those opportunities for failure. Or if you already are struggling in something, we found a number of areas that we were not optimizing ourselves. And so we fixed those first. And then we looked at areas that were potential that if we didn't fix them, that it could really hurt our bottom line. So you want to ask yourself that, be honest with it, get in there and don't be afraid to be honest with yourself with your business. Um, it actually is energizing. Isn't that weird? For me, every time I see an opportunity in our businesses, I get kind of excited because opportunity means there's possibility, right? It means there's growth. If you're doing everything right and you're doing everything and you still are struggling, then that's a problem. Then there's a different problem. All right, number two, and we've already talked about this, but diversify your revenue stream. Start looking at how else can I make money? And keep it within the same wheelhouse. Darren Hardy will tell you, make sure you drill your well of your business really deep before you expand out. So you want to look like everything that we were talking about, the home building business, the barns, the land, the pools, all of that has to do with what we're doing with the house. So you see, we're gonna create revenue streams that stay within our wheelhouse. But ask yourself, what am I not offering that I could be offering to help me diversify and help my business stay more resilient? Fun exercise when you allow yourself to do it. Number three, build contingency plans. Don't overcomplicate this. Create a one-page plan that say, if revenue drops, then this is what I'm going to do. Or if times get tough, this is what I'm going to do. Okay. Don't panic. Have a plan. What I have learned too, is every time when we plan, if this happens, then we have to do X. Somehow it makes everybody work harder so we don't have to do the X. Okay. So I want you to tell you, if you get honest with yourself and build a plan saying, hey, if times are tough, this is what I'm going to need to do. Don't panic. What's interesting is you'll probably step up and make sure that never happens. It's kind of like if you plan it, you don't need it. But if you don't plan it, you'll need it. Hello, this is that's exactly what happens. But you need to get honest with yourself. As business people, we need to know what we need to do to keep the business alive. Number four, look at your cash flow. Look at your cash flow and ask yourself, where do I need to protect it? How do I protect it? Okay. I know in our businesses, we look at our cash flow in in both businesses monthly. So you need to look at your cash flow, come up with plans, get honest with yourself, and figure out, do you need to prospect more, bring in more business? Do you need to diversify and get additional revenue? What do you need to do? Create a plan based on being honest with yourself and looking at your cash flow. Create a cushion if you can. Have a backup plan and be aware. And I already said this, but I'm going to say it again. When you're looking at cash flow or you're looking at ways to ensure revenue, please don't cut your staff unless you have somebody who, you look at it and that they're not longer a great fit. This is not the time. I don't think there are other things you could do before you start eliminating your team. Your team is what's going to help you stay resilient and help you come out of this and do this. It's stats that Jada talked about. Come out of it better. And the right team will come out of the storm even better. Okay. Number five, invest in digital tools that scale. You guys, come on. You guys know I talk about this all the time, but AI, come on. AI is too powerful now. We need to be utilizing it, not dependent on it, using it. It's a tool. And we use it every single day. Why not? Come on. If we don't use it every day, you need to ask yourself why you're not. Don't get afraid of it, but just know how to use it, learn how to use it. CRM, you guys know that. I need to own a CRM company. I talk about it so much, but you need a CRM. You need to have tools. You need to have technology that helps you systemize and helps you put things in place so your brain's not working on remembering things, or your brain's working on creative and relationship things. All right. Number six, train your team to adapt, right? Shane is like, I am adaptable already. Um,
I'm
so,
very, very adaptable.
She's like, "I don't want it anymore." But you need to train your people that it's okay, that we need to and that we can talk about lessons learned. I think this is really important. Jada and I have had to have a lot of conversations over 18 months of things we tried and didn't work and things that worked and we were surprised. And no one's in trouble. You know what I mean? I don't get in trouble if I do something and it fails. She doesn't. We no one's in trouble. We're trying. We're innovating. We're working on it. So we can pre-brief and be honest and say, but and understand everybody needs to be a little agile and adaptive. So just train that. Have a culture of creativity and ability to have feedback up and down. Okay, Jada has full ability to tell me an idea she doesn't think that's going to work, or if we try something and it didn't work. There's no feelings hurt. We're all rolling in the same direction. Never said then schedule a quarterly scenario review. And really, I suggest you do these anyway. But every quarter, sit down and review everything, make changes, look at your market, double check your target market, look at the ways you attract business, nurture business, close business. Has anything changed that you need to be aware of? Jada and I do this every quarter. Matter of fact, she doesn't know this, but I have some notes. She used to do something every quarter, and my business partner had us get away from it. And I've just recently learned Jada had the wisdom, and we need to bring it back. And that is, I'll just tell you since we're here, Jada, where you on all of our quarterlies would bring up um, year over year results.
Mm.
And so because we eliminated that, we are not getting the full picture that we need. And that is something that you thought was wise. Leadership sometimes we're not the smartest tools, and we stopped doing that. Now we need to go back to Jada's wisdom and start looking at least 3 years back. And, because the market is changing so
Mhm.
much, that is a wisdom Jada told us to do before. We're gonna get back to that in our quarterlies. So now she knows that. And you guys all got to hear that, Jada was right and the bosses were wrong. How about that?
Well, you say that, and honestly, whenever you said that, I was like, "Oh, you're right. When did we stop doing that?" And I had to
Well, I'll
process
tell
that
you
for a
why.
minute.
Because
Huh?
leadership said we didn't need it. It's
Well, I
all on our
think
fault. So
it was whenever we switched, which
to
I think
L10.
yeah, to the L10 because there's no, like, spot in that format for it, but it overall, that format has been really good for our company.
Mhm, it
But
is,
that is
but
something,
we
yeah, that we
we'll
lost when we did that.
in the quarterly, we're gonna add back that wisdom.
Mm,
So, going back to you guys, you wanna make sure that you have quarterly meetings and just learn from our mistake. Make sure that you're looking, I'm gonna say 3 years back, and looking quarter over quarter, year over year, and really assessing yourself. It makes you have to look at it. So,
mm.
that's my advice. That's the rubber meets the road. And again, I just want you guys to know that this just absolutely came from our heart because we're in the storm with you and we're gonna come out of it better for it. So I will say this in closing before Jada tells us what the next steps are. Resilience doesn't happen in the storm. It's built before the storm. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna say this in my personal life too. You need to have a character of resilience already before you enter a storm. It will grow it, it will develop it, but you need to have a plan. And the more flexible your systems, your team, your mindset, the better you're going to be. I want you to have confidence that your tomorrows are going to be great. And I want you to not wait for a crisis to freak out. Somebody asked me in my goal setting course recently, Athena, what do you do if something happens and derails you? And Jada, you weren't in this one, it was one of my live classes. And this is what I said, and I stand by it. Stop planning like something's not going to derail you. Life is life. Things happen. Start planning as if something will challenge you and derail you. Think of it right now. Every goal you have in your business, think that you will have a challenge with it. And what is going to be my plan to be a bison and run through it and make it work anyway? Let's stop getting shocked when life happens and let's be ready for when life happens. So I just want to leave you guys with that. But Jada, where do we go from now?
Well, if this episode was applicable to you and your business, please like, subscribe, share it with someone who needs it, and please leave us a review because that is how other people will find us on all the streaming platforms. So we got to say it for all of them. But
Yes.
additionally, don't forget Athena's book will be coming out soon. So get some early access discounts and exclusive extras by joining that list in the show notes. And in the show notes, I'll also make sure there is a link to download the season 7 resource guide, as well as a list to check out Athena's 10 fundamental 5-day courses. She briefly mentioned those today. So remember, start with the fundamentals, start there. So if you have questions about those, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll also make sure that there's a link to grab 15 minutes on Athena's calendar if you do want to inquire or discuss individual or team coaching or training. So thank you again for being here. I know that was a lot, but we can't wait to see you next week.
Bye, everyone.